Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A pleasure to be able to speak to you both today. How are you? Okay?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I've just been watching this incredible film. Won 3 of the awards at Sundance. Already been endorsed by people like Dua Lipa and Rita Ora. So what an incredible film. But for people who don't know anything about it, maybe you could just start with a little introduction. What can they expect if they watch the film?
Yes. So I'm Blerta Basholli. I'm the director of Hive, which is my first feature film. And Hive is a story about Fahriye, who, having lost her husband during the war in Kosovo, she started to work and opened an agricultural business, and the society didn't see this as a positive thing. So, dealing with her husband and the habits in her hive, she tries to find herself in this new environment created for her.
I understand it's actually based on a true story, but also infused with the personal experiences of both of you as well. So maybe you can tell us a bit about the genesis of this project and why you decided to tell this story for your first feature film.
But I heard the story initially on TV, and I thought that it's an interesting story. But then we went to meet Faria together with Yllka and our friends. And when we met her in person, it was actually her character, her personality, her vision to develop this business, but also her cleverness, I would say, on the way how she dealt with everything and how she managed to get the women together. Because initially they were resisting to join her because of the gossip, because of what could happen to them. And she kind of slowly dealt with them and very gently convinced them to join to her. And now they've created this amazing community of working together and building something together. So for me, it was really what impressed me most was her and how she really dealt with everything. And really, only after meeting her, kind of became a mission and a duty to portray this strong woman character on screen, which I was lucky enough to have it played by Yllka Gashi.
And for you, Yllka, what was the appeal of this project and how did you prepare to play this character? Because it's a very kind of realistically shot film and we're very much up there closely watching, they're making the produce in the household, going about daily life in this very specific location. So how did you kind of prepare both, I guess, to do those sort of very practical scenes, but also on the emotional side? How did you see this character?
I had an amazing director. The story was great. I met Fahriye, which helped me study her as a character, and then I watched a lot of her interviews that she gave during the years after the war in Kosovo. So all those elements helped me to prepare and to kind of be in her, understand her state, her emotional state back at that time when the story was taking place. And honestly, I just was honest. It was a personal story for me as well, because as somebody who grew up in Kosovo during the 90s and somebody who was a refugee once and a war survivor, I understood her pain and her past and her desires as a mother and as a woman to move on with her life. And everything was put into place. When we were on set, we rehearsed, of course, before shooting the film, and I was part of the project from the very beginning. So I lived with the idea of portraying Fahriye sometime in my life, and everything helped. The dots connected, and I had Blerta, who I trusted, and like her artistic decisions and everything. And then I just was simply honest because it felt real and raw and close to heart.
Mm. And what were some of the highlights and challenges of the shoot? Because it is so realistic, I can imagine there were some difficult moments. I was really suffering for you when the opening scene with the bees, but there must have been lots of other moments that were quite difficult, but also maybe had a lot of fun on the set. Such an incredible ensemble cast you had to work with as well.
Yeah, we had long days of shooting, but it was fun. Physically, it was a bit exhausting because it's not easy to make films. I had to be in front of the camera all day long, but I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable. And Fahriye is a hardworking woman, and she worked like that, and she managed to do everything with her. I mean, housework, and to work with bees, and to be a friend and a shrink to her friends, and to gather women around. So I was motivated by the character that I was portraying, and it became. Uh, it, I mean, it was fun. It was interesting. It was an adventure, a beautiful experience that, as actors, we don't get, especially actors from Kosovo, we don't get that many chances to make these kind of stories and, I mean, films, and to tell these stories. So I enjoyed every bit of it.
And what do you hope people will take away from watching it? Because I felt so enraged at so many moments, kind of, this sort of patriarchal society kind of actively, making things difficult for these women who are just doing what they can to survive. But then on the other side, there was something so incredibly inspirational about seeing their resilience and how they reacted in the face of adversity. And there's a very kind of feminist, empowering message that comes out through the film. So for you, Blerta, was it important to you to balance those things? And what do you hope people take away from watching it?
Yeah, well, you said it all. I mean, of course, you're enraged because you see, even I, coming from here, couldn't believe when I heard the story that these men were really against her. But for me, it was really that was the hardest part. Like, what part of the story do I want to focus on? This film on, because she had a lot going on during the war and then after the war, and then how do I want to end this film, and how do I want the audience to leave the screening with, because a lot of times we take this question for granted, and of course it's like the basic, ask yourself what do you want the audience to leave the screening with. But this is a question I really made it to myself for so many times, and that's how I decided to end the film this way. Of course, this film doesn't have a happy ending, if we're talking just about the ending, but at least I hope that it's going to give some hope, because these families are still waiting for their missing ones. But still, these women, beside the pain for missing ones, beside all the obstacles they had and prejudices, they got together and built something together for themselves, for their children, and for everyone in the village, because they sort of changed the mindset of the whole village. And for me, that's really important. And I just really hope that the audience are going to be encouraged and inspired by her, the way we were from the first time we met her, and the way we are each time we meet her, actually.
And for you, what do you hope people take away?
A lot of things. I mean, you both said it. I don't want to repeat anything, but I also hope that people, especially people who live in like Western countries, I do live in US for 7 years now. And it's living in these kind of societies changes you, but we take so many things for granted. First of all, our freedom. I hope we learned something from the pandemic, and then with everything that happens with people and families in war, and how that changes. Even the patriarchy becomes harsher because of the consequences of war, because people are traumatized, and they are dealing with something that are maybe not, they are not ready to even dig into themselves and see what those consequences of war did to them, and they behave strangely. So I just hope that, first of all, people enjoy the film, and see the strength of women in general, particularly Kosovo women, who have been through so much during history and they never gave up. And I hope that some of them maybe visit Kosovo from just by seeing this film, and just go out there for themselves and meet people, and try Ivar and so on.
And finally, just very quickly, what does it mean to you as well to get the kind of reception you got at Sundance, to have people like Dua Lipa and, Rita Ora be kind of endorsing this project? And do you think it shows that there is an appetite out there for female-led stories, female filmmakers' work, and, we need to see more of it, basically?
I think so, yeah. I mean, first of all, it was great to have Dua Lipa, Rita Ora, our president, Osa Osmani, and I mean, basically everybody really supported the film. Getting the rewards at Sundance, and then having the film travel the world, and now it's opening in UK. For us, it's really great because we come from a small country where not many people know about us, not many people have seen films or any kind of art from us, and thanks to Dua Lipa and Rita Ora, they're seeing music stars, but we really have a lot to say, and I think it just really is amazing that people will get to see and hear about part of our history, part of our art, and hopefully that will inspire a lot of people, because the whole Kosovo was cheering for us and supporting us on this journey, and that was really amazing to see and really nice to feel. And it kind of, in a way, it did give hope to people, because the way I was inspired by other directors here, I hope our film is going to inspire other people. And in terms of women making films, I think all people, no matter the gender, nationality, color, sexuality, should make films and be able to make it they want to, because that gives perspective, and we need perspective. That gives representation, that gives everything. So I think really women and everyone should be able to make more and more films, because we will have different kinds of perspectives and experiences, and that will just make films more beautiful.
Well, I think I'm out of time, but it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you both. Thank you so much for sharing all that with me, and I can't wait for everyone else to see this incredible film. Thanks so much.